Welcome to Sloss and Humphries on the road. You've got a classic Muggins and Cream episode waiting for you here. This is Daniel Sloss is featuring on his own podcast for the third episode running. You're in luck. But before you get into this episode, I want to let you know we've got some treats for you. First of all, you've got a discount code for Altitude Comedy Festival. If you want to come to the Alps next year, use the discount code Muggins and Cream 25, and that will get you 10% off tickets to the comedy festival. Muggins and Cream 25. That's all capital letters. All one word, Muggins and Cream. 25 gets you 10% off the festival tickets. Also, I'm going to be coming on tour starting in Bristol from the 12th of October and travelling as far and wide as I can. All the tickets are on my website, kaihumphries.com, as they come out at the minute. We've got a bunch of UK dates. We've got a bunch of European dates. We're looking at adding Australia, and there's going to be more UK and European dates getting added as we go. But go have a look at kaihumphries.com. If I'm coming anywhere near you, please join me on my tour of gallivanting. Starts on the 12th of October. And also, think about subscribing to our Patreon if you don't already. If you're listening to this on Early Access, you've already subscribed. If you're listening to this on the public channels, think about subscribing and you will get early access on these public episodes and you'll get an extra episode every single week. And also, there's a bunch of other perks that you can check out, like signed posters and thank you videos. And go and have a look and see which one suits you. Hopefully see you on tour. Hopefully see you in the Alps. Hopefully see you on our bonus episodes on Patreon. And I'll definitely see you after this intro music on an episode of Muggins and Cream. Enjoy.
Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and Cream, Cream and Muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
And that's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
You got to be a pretty fucking big loser to challenge Mark Zuckerberg to a cage fight, and then the second Mark Zuckerberg says yes, you go, no, thank you. No, I'm not scared. I just forgot how busy I was.
I'm gonna put a fiver on that. This is Elon Musk's latest move.
Oh no, this was him fucking 18 months ago. Challenge fucking, it was like after Mark Zuckerberg released Threads or whatever. Mark Zuckerberg just pointed at, I don't think Mark
He's like, fight me.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg is obviously not any sort of bastion of cool, but it does take a level of unbearable drug-fueled autism to somehow make Mark Zuckerberg seem more normal than you. Like less robotic. Because
Mark Zuckerberg is the one thing that makes the rest of the world go, maybe there might be a lizard.
Yeah.
The non-conspiracy people going, right, hear them out because I think he might be a lizard.
Yeah, and clearly the lizard's enemy in the underground battle for this planet is Elon Musk is whatever fucking species
Mongoose?
of jellyfish that was in X-Men 2, where the fucking politician gets injected and he's in that fucking thing and he starts pushing his face through the bars and that's how he gets out and he's just a jellyfish. That's what Elon Musk is. I don't even think he thumbs in softies.
Do you think he's just an invertebrate?
Yeah.
Invertebrate?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Yeah, that's how I'm saying it now. He already thumbs in softies, but he accidentally gets his hips and his bum in there as well.
Yeah. Too much. Pushes from behind.
His legs and his torso are popping out of the butthole.
Yeah. I said this off camera, but Elon Musk posted an AI photo of him wearing a cowboy hat, looking cool. And you're just like,
cool?
You just wear a cowboy hat, man.
Yeah, just kind of bookies.
Don't get me wrong, fair enough. The one of you wearing a full suit of armour, harder to come by. But as a billionaire, I don't reckon a suit of armour is that hard to come by. The AI images of him in SS uniform, I know those are in your other cupboard.
It's very Ben Stiller in Dodgeball when is it Ben Stiller when he's wrestling there's a painting of him wrestling a bull to the ground by the horns.
Yeah.
Painted it of him. It's very move like that.
I just think it's absolutely wild. Don't get me wrong, in our teens, we all spent time on fucking 4chan just enjoying the fact that, you could say fucking anything.
There was a dark corner of the internet.
Yeah. And then you got...
I never had 4chan, I've never visited it. I was aware of it through you and Elliot.
Yeah, it was never...
And Elliot, not a person that called you and Elliot.
No, it was never user-friendly. It was a hard thing to, go through. It wasn't as easy to go through as Reddit, and it was all anonymous, and it was back.
I dabbled with Chive. That was as close as I got to sticking my foot in with your generation's movements.
Chive was cool for about fucking 35 seconds.
Cat Saturday. I remember Cat Saturday.
and then
I remember
they
you bought me a Chive t-shirt and then some Canadian guy on the Princess Street shouted Chive on as I walked
And then you
past.
went, well, I guess I'm going shirtless in the street. I guess looks like I'm started on this group of kids as I just take my fucking shirt off for no reason. Like, don't get me wrong, I have like some form of sympathy for the incel community, right? In the same way that I feel sorry for bears when I go to the zoo, and I'm like, that looks like it's fucking shit. I'm not getting in the fucking cage.
That looks really sad in there.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have the existence of that one.
I mean, I'm obsessed with Elon Musk and just like his absolutely unabashed, like the things he's been posting recently. It's just been like, look how skewed America is to Democrats. Do you know that 90% of professors vote Democrat? And you're like, 90% of educated people don't vote Republican. That's your big fucking takeaway.
Where are these 10%? Do they just not vote? Are they the abstainers?
Oh, it's the same thing with the like, how come 85% of college educated adults vote for Democrat? And you're like, well, because they don't buy into your fucking memes on Twitter, dude.
They did their own research, believe it or not.
Yeah, and look, I spent all of my 20s trying to like appear cool to people. I wasn't even aware who I was trying to be cool to. I was trying to sort of like prove it to myself. Like, I understand what it's like to be like, oh God, like I've got to keep up this facade. But if enough people were yelling at me on the internet, like, I wouldn't just be like, well, the way to change this abuse isn't to change my personality. I'm just going to mute the word Gaylord. Oh, that's them all gone. Oh, fuck, they come up with a new word. Well, I'll ban that.
I don't want to ban the word Lord. I don't want them to call us a Lord.
Also, banning is censorship, and I'm against censorship. And what I believe censorship is you can just put out whatever you want. Free speech is the ability to lie to the masses as much as you can and just not be fucking fact-checked. Then any fact-check that comes in, it's just fucking...
Aye. But you don't, like, you couldn't, if you're getting swamped by enough people on the internet, you go blind to it, you don't believe them to be true. You know that.
Yeah, but I don't.
I've had a recent swathe of people that have been taking umbrage to my pedo Terry routine because that reached like muggle level of output rather than just people that enjoy comedy. It's reaching just people just in the house. And I'm getting so much hate from that.
Yeah.
And, and I'm like... I'm unmoved by it. Like, that's not, I don't go, maybe that I should have an introspective. I look at every single one of their profile photos and go, yeah, because you could be a pedo. Like,
what are they, what's the problem with the joke?
That I should be deeply ashamed of my actions.
That's always been true.
That I ruined a man's life.
Also,
that people commit suicide because of such things.
What, being accused of being pedos? Mm-hmm. I mean, why they killed themselves though?
Why they've been accused? It's the same answer. It is the same answer. So yeah, I can't log on to the internet at the minute without having hate from muggles. I'm not gonna let that steer my identity. So I don't imagine that it does if you're like in a real, like if you're that exposed to the input of the world, you're gonna have a huge blind spot. You're not gonna respond to it.
It's just it's looking for acceptance, and look, as the late not great Gareth Southgate said, you know,
he's still very much alive.
Yeah, but he's still not great. This whole thing of like we all just want to be loved, which, you know, I think is true, but I question the methods of being like, I'm gonna go be loved. I'm going to go send us all to Mars, unless a black woman wins, in which case I'm going to throw a giant mantrum, and we're not going to go to Mars anymore. All right, man.
I'm taking me spaceship home. I'm taking me spaceship. This isn't fair. You're not playing fair. I'm taking me spaceship home.
I mean, I do think, like, here's the deal with billionaires, right? We've got to go Highlander rules, right?
There can only be one.
There can only be one. Right, so the second you earn over $1 billion, you got to fight the other billionaire, and it's to the death.
To the death. It's not
to
just
the death.
it's not just a controlled cage fight for clicks.
Yeah.
With
But
Mark Zuckerberg. It is a Thunderdome Mad Max there's weapons scenario.
It's absolutely
where
true.
even the one that wins is never going to be the same.
Yeah. And by the way, if you kill the other billionaire, you absolutely get
His billions.
all of their money.
It's like Congas.
100%. Yeah. You definitely get to keep all of their money. But, I mean, you're earning money, you're in the gym every day. Fucking, you got to be. There's younger billionaires coming up, people broaching things.
Oh, yeah. It's the alpha of the tribe.
Aye. And I know
You literally are the alpha that you're claiming to be. You have to defend that.
gotta
You can't just be like, I'm an alpha. You're like, oh, there's another fucking young male that's come up, and it's usually males.
And then, if you get to the point where you're like, I'm just fucking sick of fighting people and killing people. I just don't like this anymore. What you can do is you can just anonymously donate 1.5 billion people to 2 people that you hate and just make them fight to the death.
Well, they said 1.5 billion people
just-
instead of money, because that would be more likely to be true. That they would just throw people at it.
I think it'd be fucking great if you were just like, oh God, I'm just so fucking bored of these cunts. Okay, I'm going to send 1.5 billion to Andrew Tate and Dan Bilzerian. And they just wake up and be like, oh, I'm a billionaire. Oh, no.
We're going to fight each other.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do? I'm going to send it to The Rock and Philip Schofield.
Yes. Yes. That's the billionaires choose the fights.
Yeah, through altruism, through
Through philanthropy.
Yeah. Worst thing to do is like if you then got to a
The
point.
billion pounds is a poison chalice, and you like touched your last.
Yeah. And then at one point you just get one guy who works his way up, right? And they go all the way through the top. They're a billionaire. And they're like, you know what? I'm actually going to fucking donate all of this to charity. And you're like, well, I'm sorry, man. Fucking.
It looks like the WWE's fighting the WWF.
Jesus Christ, it's Make-A-Wish v. Peter. Oh my God, it's like the Colosseum. This is awesome. And then, I mean, the irony is whoever gets the TV rights to that instantly becomes the billionaire.
What would you do? Not take away the hypothetical rules that we've just imposed, right? You just wake up tomorrow morning and there's several billion in your account. You're a multi-billionaire.
Aye.
What is your move as a billionaire?
Pornhub Platinum.
Pornhub Platinum. Have you
Treat
ever
myself.
Have you ever signed up to Pornhub Platinum for one?
Even during COVID when they were like,
Free.
it's free. I'm like,
Free.
I ain't.
Man.
Nah.
Free fringe. Free fringe. It's free to get in. You can't get it without paying.
Right.
I managed to subscribe to Pornhub Premium. Unsubscribing from Pornhub Premium was like, you need to print out this, and you have to go and stand on the roof of your house and shout it out. I would hereby declare that I no longer want my Pornhub Premium subscription. And you have to have an audience of at least 70 gathering from your estate.
Yeah, sorry, just so we can confirm your identity, can you just read out your search history to your mum? You know what, man, I'll just keep paying.
I'll just keep paying for it. Can you just wear your wife's clothes? Right, okay, I'm already doing that. What else? What do I next have to do? Unsubscribing was a ball ache, man.
If I had billions of pounds in my bank account, I would use that money to lobby and bribe politicians into voting into
Just a regular billionaire, then.
Yeah.
You would step into the shoes of the billionaire immediately.
But I would do it to be like I would lobby enough people and blackmail and bribe enough people that the law that they pass is all politicians, every single bit of money that goes to them, their family, any company is public knowledge. And anyone that accepts bribes and anyone that lobbies, it's an instant death penalty.
I think I would be different to you. I think I would live my normal life for the longest time without ever letting know that I was a billionaire. Because I would just...
Man, I can tell the day after you've had a blowjob. What are you talking about? How the fuck are you keeping that under your hat?
You remember 2016? I mean, there would be a spring in my step for sure.
Because you bought moon boots.
But I think I would be very wary of letting the intrusive thoughts pass for the first while.
Aye.
Because the amount of shit where you just want to throw money at the problem before you've literally woke up with the power to have someone killed. Mm-hmm. You've woke up with that. I'm not acting on impulses immediately.
Pussy.
I mean, look, I think I'd incrementally get richer. I'd definitely, for the first while, be like, you wouldn't see as an economy.
Aye.
Like, they would be weighing up where, I'm going on holiday in economy soon.
Right.
That wouldn't happen.
You're buying crisps outside of the meal
But
deal.
yeah, you know what? Yes. I'm getting the size of bottle of water that I want rather than the two for fucking an amount that economically work out as like cheaper per volume of water, but not the amount of water that I want to be carrying around on my journey. I'm getting this. There's been like I'd flatten them kinks in my life out immediately, right? But I wouldn't act like a billionaire straight away. I wouldn't even act like a millionaire straight away.
I'd be straight to Sony, right, and I'd bribe someone in there. And whatever the technology that Israel put into the pagers for Hezbollah, I would start making sure that the next generation of consoles, every single controller had those in. And then, because I'll never naturally get good at computer games again. That's past me. But I miss the feeling. The only way to do it is to blow people's hands off who beat me at COD. So just the next generation of consoles, it's people trash talk me like, if one person fucking teabagged me, fucking, all right, boom, done, all over, done, completely finished.
Exploding control pads.
And then
and the lawsuit that follows, just pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, it's Sony's fault.
I read an internet story that probably isn't true the other day, but I liked it, so I'm repeating it, about somebody who got employed by a company, fixed one of the bugs that wasn't annoying him as a consumer, and then quit. I love that shit.
Oh, can somebody do that to Disney Plus? The user interface on Disney Plus is inexplicably shit for the third largest streaming platform. You go to Disney Plus and you're like, can I watch what I was previously watching? And they're like, how would I possibly know what that was? Do you think I'm some sort of magical fucking database where I just know what you're watching all the time? Don't be wrong. I sell all the information to other people so I know what to sell you in your algorithm. But I couldn't possibly remember that yesterday.
But I will kill your wife if she eats a nut.
Just fucking what? Disney Plus needs. I would go in there and be like, can you just take the lawsuit from Netflix and just do what Netflix have done? Just like, yeah, we stole it, it's good, yoink, ours. All right, you sued us, here's some millions, we'll get that back from you eventually because now we've got more customers because our UI isn't despicably shit.
I don't know what it's like now with Sky Go. I remember watching a series on Sky Go, and when I searched for the series, it gave us the episodes for like all 8 seasons out of sequence. So it'd be like season 6, episode 2, season 3, episode 4, and you had to scroll through the list until you found the episode.
I've got a match of the day at the moment. I'm like, every night, every Saturday, Sunday, I record match of the day, and every morning they're like, hey, do you want to watch the highlights from the 2012 Euros? I'm like, man, why is that still on here?
Just don't put that on YouTube for the archives. What would I do with $1 billion? Because you'd instantly start like making people's lives around you better by like paying off their shit. So like you'd have like a multitude of people's mortgages that you could pay off. But like that's acting like a multimillionaire. Even then you're not acting like a billionaire yet. A billionaire, like you're buying companies and there's stuff happening around you where there's people on the payroll and you don't even know what's happening.
Right. I buy EasyJet and Ryanair, right? And there are flights to Ibiza and Benidorm, right? But there's no return flights, ever. In any company that offers return flights from Ibiza or Benidorm, I buy that company. But then, man, you can go, but you ain't coming back.
You ain't coming back. Nah. You can sit in the Burger King all you want. That's the most sad meal of your life is the Ibiza airport Burger King on the way home, and there's people asleep on the floor with come downs. Yeah. It's literally the saddest meal you'll ever have. I haven't had my last one.
That's another one. I'd buy Burger King and delete it.
Just put it straight in the recycle bin.
But man, it's so bottom tier. Like I know we're arguing about fast food here. I would buy Burger King.
Matthew's pure shaking his head here.
It's the worst.
There's a rift in the Sloss family brewing over Burger King.
But I would rather be fucking hit by a lorry than taste a Burger King chip. Like they are so unbelievably bottom tier.
They're better now. Like how recently have you had a Burger King?
Since I was last hit by a fucking lorry.
When Daniel falls out with something, he falls out with them forever. You know that.
Same with KFC. KFC chips are now better than McDonald's. Fact.
No, I don't know. I've had KFC chips recently.
I'm desperate if I'm eating fast food right now.
Right now.
It's desperation. Like I'll not eat fast food out of choice.
Oh no, I do. I think.
I could barely give myself a favorite, and that like it's trying to like. What's your favourite shit you've picked up at Peggy's? It's like that. It's like, oh, there's some solid ones that are really good at the baggies.
Well,
you don't leave anything on the grass.
There was one winter where it was particularly cold and I hadn't brought my gloves out with me and it was so warm. I ended up picking it up with both hands. Still in the bag. I tell you what I'd do, right? If I was a billionaire, right? I'd bring back Vine.
Oh yeah,
I'd buy it off of Twitter, and I'd be like, "Geese that back. We're putting it right out again."
But that is like the people who bought Oasis tickets. They don't want Oasis tickets. They want their youth back. You'd be trying to have your youth back by getting Vine.
Oh, but just
It was a happy time. We enjoyed social media. That was the last time I remember us like really going, what's the next video going to be?
Aye.
Like now it's like, oh, well, all right, I bet I'll make a video of some sort to put online.
It involved so much like fucking, there were so many people that were just so brilliant at Vine with just like, and 6 seconds was just such a, people being like, how can I possibly make this funny? You're like, well, you're never going to be successful on fucking Vine. I feel like maybe I'm going insane here. Was Jake Paul, was he famous from Vine? I know he was Disney and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, he must have done.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, aye.
We kept doing like Alakazam, like making each other disappear and then appear somewhere else and doing that with things. That was our running theme for the brief moment.
Aye.
I'd done a bunch with Natalie as well. When me and Natalie first started hanging out, we'd done a bunch of Vines. Girlfriends of Vine.
Oh, I'll tell you what I'd do. If I woke up and I was a multi-billionaire, I'd pay Cara £1 million to sign a prenup. A post-prenup. Because we didn't do any prenup. My wife does not have a prenup.
I don't believe in them.
No, me neither.
I don't believe in your marriage if you've got one.
Yeah. It's like going,
I feel like your parents...
do you take this person to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. One hand on base, though. One hand. I love you with all of my heart.
Nothing says my parents hate you like a prenup.
Yeah.
Nothing says like you're inheriting my shit, but she ain't. Like a prenup. It reeks of what's the opposite word of togetherness? Division. It reeks of division. There's division within your family, and like there's no unity there. There's no cohesion. It's your family unit is clunky as fuck if you chuck a prenup in. Yeah. It's like fucking putting diesel in a petrol car. That
we were watching the season of UK Love Is Blind, and there was a guy on it who said to this girl, he's like, "Hey, how do you feel doing a fucking prenup?" And she was not the brightest tool in the shed, but she was like a sweetheart. She had a good heart, but she just wasn't. She wasn't up to date with the full knowledge of what fucking prenup is. Unfortunately, her two closest friends were the dumbest cunts in existence. And, like, she went out and she was like, he's asked me for a prenup, and I find that, like, a bit, like, weird. And it's like, honey, you're on a show where you're getting married to a fucking stranger you met behind a wall in the space of a month. This is all a bit weird. And her friends are like, no, that I wouldn't trust that. What that means is if you get married to him, and you're together for like 10 years, you've got nothing. And you're like, that's not what a prenup is at all. A prenup is, I keep my shit and this stuff in the contract. And anything that you've earned separately is yours. And also, here's the thing. You can change a prenup. You can make it's not like a blanket fucking thing where you're like, this is a rules applied to everything. And she just could not. It was super frustrating.
What's the point in nuptials if you're going to take out the clauses that make it binding? Like, it just makes it so superficial.
I think you're allowed a prenup on your second marriage because you're like, hold on. This isn't about you. This is about me. And I'm just worried that because of my past indiscretions, the fact that I've been divorced before, that I'm going to cheat again and I need to pay for a third wedding because I love getting married. Hello, my name's John Cleese.
I've made it so easy for Natalie to get everything if we break up.
Aye.
The house is in her name. It's not in mine. And the car that I bought because I wanted her to be like the lease car that's hers, right, is in my name, and I am the not the name driver, the policy holder of the insurance. So I'm getting the no claims bonus for every year that goes by for her car. So when I bought a car that I'd saved up for, I put it in her name so I could make her the policyholder, so I could be the named driver, because that was less complicated than the switch. To save a little bit of paperwork, she owns my car that I bought. If we break up, the house and the car are hers.
Yeah.
I'd have to fight her for my stuff. And also, I don't think I'd get the dog.
Nah.
I think she'd get.
You can find another dog with anxiety. Hard to come by.
And I kind of like my one.
They all look the same.
Nah, but you kind of get attached.
Oh, yeah, but then they die and you get attached to a new one.
I believe that philosophy about everything. Wife, children, the works, right? Yeah, probably. It's fucking psychopath behaviour, but we know somebody whose dog got knocked over shortly after they got it and they just got a new one the exact same.
Do we?
Yes.
Do we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I mean, I've got guesses.
Immediately, man. They just went, oh, damn.
Back in the shop.
Back in the shop. They did that. Not close friends of ours, but we've spent some time with them over the last many years.
God.
And for me, it was like, no, you don't get a dog for a while. I didn't have sunglasses for a year because mine broke after I bought them.
Oh, yeah, there's the...
I went a year going, well, you don't get sunglasses then. That doesn't have a sentient... It's not a sentient being.
My wife, who struggles to buy Christmas and birthday presents for me, not because she's not an incredibly thoughtful and generous person, which she is. She loves gift giving. But just because if I want something, I buy it. I'm like, oh, there's the thing, mine. There's the thing, mine.
You haven't learned to take care of things either because of that?
Well, I do now. Now that I've gotten to the stage where I think that was more of a youth thing as opposed to anything else. Like I'm a bit, especially since I started getting into things I actually cared about as opposed to things I was just buying to make myself feel cool.
The mind game of a comedian's difficult as well because it's easy to go, like, even as a job and comic, I can make this amount of money in 20 minutes. Why am I going to spend 8 hours spending the time that would cost us 10 minutes of work to pay someone to do? But we're not working 37-hour shifts. That's the difference. The majority of our pay is in the drive and the preparation and the getting the material sorted and the fucking climb that it takes to get to that point. So it's hard to go, I'm going to wash my own car, when you could work for a little bit of time on stage to get somebody to wash your car for you. Speaking of, I spent all day yesterday detailing my car, getting the scratches out. I hit a bit of Kylock in that I bought a car that had...
Man, I would be like fucking GTA rules. Just drive it into a garage.
Yeah.
like, there you go, bye.
Well, that's what it's... This particular day, I bought a car in spite of a couple of scratches that had been on it. Like, there was one in particular where somebody had clearly, like, scuffed it with a trolley, but it was, like, on the surface. And it was bothering us because it's a nice car. And it looks good, but it's got scratches on it and a couple of little scratches here and there. And I eventually was like, right, I'm going to sink some money in this. I'm going to pay somebody to come and detail the car. And I mentioned over dinner with Natalie's family, and Natalie's uncle's over from Oman. His daughter is in uni in Strathclyde, so he's over getting her settled in. And I mentioned that I'd sent them emails out, and then he mentioned that his job was doing that. And he also buys cars from the 70s for like 10 grand and then restores them to the point that they're worth the price of a house.
Oh man, that's such a great fucking... I was about to say hobby, but like that's...
His job's his hobby. He loves it, which is why he didn't mind going, can I show you how to do it? And he bought the equipment for us that I would need and then showed us how to do it.
Just a bunch of Sharpies.
I did imagine it was that.
He's like, I restore cars in Oman.
He come in cowboy job to be
No idea what a man's like. I apologise for that. Just general racism.
Dusty apparently he was like, it's different here because we're dealing with moisture instead of dryness. So there's like a different element to like you're never gonna burn the paint as easy as you would in Oman. But there was some, when you were mentioning Sharpies, there was a couple of scratches that I hadn't even noticed where they'd bodged jobbed it so that they could sell it to the mug. And he found them and was like, these are going to be harder because somebody's fucking had a go at them.
Yeah.
So there's like still little bits that are visible, but like my car looks fucking showroom now from just spending the day with Uncle Hussein, sorting the car out. And I've got to put it out there for somebody who would just throw money at a problem like that.
Yeah.
Fucking loved every part of it. I loved getting an army vehicle. There was a mindfulness in it. And we spent a good like 6 to 8 hours staying in the car, right? And
that was 628, not 68, by the way.
6 to 8 hours. And Natalie
628 hours.
Natalie afterwards was asking like what we're chatting about while we're doing it. And I was like, oh, literally the job in front of her for the whole time. And she was like, oh, men are so weird. Because if that was like I would have been like, so how did you meet your wife? How did you get married? Like, when did, like, and find out like everything about them. And I walked away and know nothing more about that man
Great,
than I knew
perfect.
already.
A perfect relationship.
Perfect
Beyond perfect
relationship.
relationship.
We chatted about cars. We chatted about the like what's happening in front of her.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh man, no, I get what you're saying about the, taking the pride in things. One of the things that I'm definitely throwing money at recently, just because there's no way I'm doing it. We move house on Friday, and I sat Garrett down 3 months ago, and I was like, "There's not a price in the world that they could quote that would make me pack up and unpack myself. Mm-hmm. It could be the price of the house. I'm not boxing up shit. The other day, right, which is fair enough, because I'm home. I'm getting really into like just chilling, relaxing, just being a dad, being a husband. I could be doing more. I could be, because I'm like, we've got to skip anything we don't want. We put it in the skip. Anything we do want, they'll fucking take out. She's like, do you want to box up all the board games you've got in preparation? I'm like, are you fucking high school teachering me? Should we clean up the room before the fucking Johnny comes in?
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, if you're paying for a service where they're going to move stuff that's in the cupboards.
If the house was trashed, she would absolutely 100% have a point. Like, I'm not having somebody come around to pick up my litter and sift through it. But like, all of our board games are on the shelf. There. It's the process.
Oh, but I get a point. You're carrying this house's dust into your new house because they're gonna be minging up there.
No, they were fine.
Nah, they haven't got like a layer of dust. Like, well,
you've been a cleaner.
Dusting your board game boxes and that.
Oh, she must be. Wasn't that dusty?
What do
you think? I've got fucking Jumanji up there.
Did I tell you? Just hear it knocking. You hear the drums. Did I tell you that I got a clean out one time? I didn't enjoy it because I couldn't have a shade.
You didn't know when to poo.
Did we talk about this on the podcast? I know we did. Okay, I had to go and poo in the garden centre.
I'm glad the word centre came up.
Oh, I might be repeating myself. It's not uncommon on this podcast. I told Natalie I went for a poo at Greenbank Gardens because I had nowhere to go in the house. And Natalie's instant thought wasn't that I went into the visitor centre for the garden, where you can use the public toilet. Aye. She thought I'd just me and Peggy. Just me and Peggy side by side, just curling on it in the middle of the Greenbank Gardens.
Peggy just sat there being like, this is what I've always wanted.
Like, Daniel, there wasn't even a consideration in her mind that it was in the public toilet at Greenbank Gardens.
My only thought about it would be like, it is disgusting, it is very him, but Natalie, he would have used a poo bag. He would have just left it there. He's not an animal.
He would have picked it up and put it into the poo bag. Yeah. And waved his hand on his trouser leg. I didn't like the reputation I've got.
Earned.
Well, this is how bad it is. The amount of times that Natalie will go...
Russell Brand doesn't like the reputation he's got. Earned.
That was also your spinning as well. That was also down to you. The amount of times in a day she'll go, I've done a Kai.
And you're like, you've shot yourself again.
and
you cheated on me.
I mean, I did last night bring her whiskey glass. She has ice in her whiskey. And I'd used the ice cubes for Peggy where we pour the chicken water into the ice cube tub and freeze them. So that's just got like a chicken stock ice cube.
Okay.
I put them in our whiskey. That's the kind of thing you call doing a Kai.
Aye, whiskey soup.
Chicken whiskies.
Your voice is going a little bit, so I thought I'd just put two old school remedies together.
And I'd already done that with a smoothie and drank it without noticing.
Great. I mean, to be fair, I imagine that's actually quite good for your smoothie. Like chicken stock with the salt, the sodium, and the when I go through fucking health kicks, you occasionally do have to just drink chicken stock.
I kind of put it out there. I would have fucking drank it even if I found it beforehand.
Yeah,
absolutely. If they went, they're the chicken stock, I wouldn't have drank the whiskey. Love yourself in that respect. But as far as drinking a smoothie goes, there's a bit of chicken in me, vegetables. It's like a Sunday roast, Sunday roast smoothie. Get it down the hatch. But little things like that.
I mean, that is
just tiny.
Because I also guarantee that you're the one that fills up the chicken stock ice cubes.
No. We've basically...
Also, did you not notice the different colour? Were you not holding up a fucking misty poo coloured cube being like, Oh, she's clearly just frozen whiskey.
You know, when I looked at it,
Aye.
when I like mindfully looked at the glass, it did have like a kind of yellowish tinge.
And no part of you was like, well, I'm not drinking it. It's not my fucking problem.
It's not my drinking. It's actually the whiskey anyway. You deserve it.
Now I'm on your side. Now we're talking. Absolutely.
So basically, I've got an ice machine, but that makes like shite ice.
Aye.
Good for a smoothie, shite for whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. So that ice in the fridge is seldom used unless the ice machine's been turned off or it's ran out, or we're having whiskey.
Yeah.
So in my head, like that was just the ice. That was the reserve parachute of ice in the house. But it just gets used as a like little tool to make me look like I'm insane. It's a tiny little tool, little bob. I like a twist every now and again. Even though you're going about in the world doing the same moves on a regular basis and just going, oh, I've done a Kai. That's due to you at that point.
Well, not regularly. Like, I don't. I mean, don't go. I'm far from perfect, but I don't feel like I make coffee without the fucking mug being there. I don't think I've got that many. When I was high all the time, even then, I think when I was high all the time, I was super concerned about not fucking up constantly. I was trying so hard to not come across as a stoner that I was actually way more present in the moments of getting shit done. I will say this though, like,
I watched a man, sorry, we'll get to that point. I watched a man completely hoover a squash court without plugging the hoover in.
a what?
Hoover, he was called Ian Katz.
I didn't ask.
I used to work. His brother's my accountant. He might watch. We were hoovering the squash court. I plugged my hoover in, and I hoovered the squash court, the Henry the Hoover.
Aye.
And then he heard my hoover running, and thought it was his hoover running.
Great.
And then didn't even plug it in, and just started hoovering. So as soon as I switched on, he was like, "Oh!" It just starts itself, and hoovered the entire neighbouring squash court with the noise of my hoover throwing its voice.
Cara will occasionally be like, oh, you've just eaten something that's out of date, as if that was me like not reading the label on things. But as I've said before, I do not believe in
Dates.
big dates.
No.
Nah, I don't fucking.
Straight to fucking.
I just don't. She's like, that chicken went out 2 days ago. I'm like, okay. Who gets sick more often in this fucking family? Is it me or you? Right, it's you, right? Because you don't.
Does that cook chicken for you?
Well, that's clearly not good. She gets sick way more than me because she doesn't challenge her body, right? She doesn't challenge her. She's not putting her stomach on the front line every fucking day.
Aye.
Like I was making corn the other day. She's like, "Is the corn out of date?" I'm like, I might sound like a conspiracy theorist here. I don't think corn goes out of date. Like, that's a visual check. I'm not believing someone, whatever corn's grown, has been like, just fucking eyeballs it and goes, all right, that's going to be, after the 29th of September, that's fucking fucked. Print it, send out. And then I'm sat there on the 7th of October being like, well.
Yeah, I'm Cara in our relationship in that I will check the date and assume that to be true, and Natalie will smell the food and base it on that. Oh, one time when I lived with Gav, my brother, there was a Tupperware in the fridge that had been there for a long time, a very long time. And I went to just throw out whatever was in the Tupperware, and I opened it, and it was raw chicken. And fuck me, the smell nearly killed us.
Aye.
The rotten flesh. Like literally rotten flesh. It made us have like, you know, when you watch the Saw movies and like rooting through rotten flesh for a key or whatever. Like that sort of stuff, like, will never come across how bad it is in real life. The fucking smell of rot kicking in with flesh is one of the worst smells of it. Like, I'm getting sick thinking about it. Bad that.
Aye.
Then nice sandwich, but
Let's finish people listening to this podcast being like, oh, so fucking lost that. Jesus.
fancy. If you leave it out longer, it comes back on again.
I tend stuff. I just don't. I'm like, the second you can anything, it's good forever. I've watched enough zombie movies to know that that's absolutely fucking fine.
I do sometimes check myself with zombie movie lore where you can, if I come into this house in a zombie movie and found this food as fresh as it is now, 3 days out of date, but as fresh as it is now, that is going to be the nicest I've ever dined if I live in a zombie movie. If you're like, you know, if you're running away from the fucking Germans and you find a house like that. Like that's a good feed. So you do have to put yourself in wartime headspace to enjoy off food.
No, I just fucking think I just think you fucking could. I believe I'm obviously in my fucking mid-30s. I'm just like, there's nothing. An air fryer cures everything, and I mean fucking everything. If they made them big enough to put fucking cancer patients in, they'd be fine. Like you just stick anything in an air fryer for long enough.
Get the tumour out, put it in the air fryer, pop it back in,
and it's
symbiosis.
Yeah. It's just a cool addition to your face.
I saw somebody.
That would be really annoying if you were like, I've got a tumour in my back, and they like take it out and they check it, and they're like, okay, we've decancerified it and put it back in. You're like, oh no.
Oh, why, man? Why do you do that?
People are still going to call me Stegosaurus.
Cullen had his tumour out.
Aye.
His face started going yellow. Did you see that?
Aye.
He sent a picture of his face. He looked like Homer Simpson.
Yeah, swelling.
Bald and yellow.
There. Yeah, they were going to. Our friend had like a obviously non-cancerous sort of growth there, and they were going to like peel his fucking face off.
Oh yeah, because they give him the option of what was it? Peel your face off and have a scar.
Aye. Or
keyhole surgery and you might go a bit Bell's palsy.
Yeah. Or one finger in one ear, hand over your mouth, and then one of the nurses puts her mouth over your nose, and then but what could happen?
Oh, imagine it's just further down your neck. Now you've got a lump on your tit.
You're like, fuck, we've turned this ear cancer into breast cancer.
I've got breast cancer now. And then she just blows a bit harder and you're like, now I've got testicular cancer. Well done.
Alright, great. Oh, toe cancer, I can live with that.
Yeah, lop that off. I don't use it. Barely use it.
Just shows how much we know how the human body works. That we're like, those are all connected by the same.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the same tube.
Just press it and it comes out somewhere else.
Aye. Well, how many miles of intestines do we allegedly have?
Oh, hundreds of miles. You could get to space. You could get it all the way. Intestines back to back. You get the moon and back.
This is the thing where I'm just like, science has just said something.
From my house to your house, we could use my small intestine, not even the big one. And I'd be like, "Are you here?" And you'd be like, "Fuck that."
At least 15 feet in total.
Nah, fuck off, science. Not having it. No way. Is that the big and small one, or both of them tied end to end?
And that's not even your biggest organ.
That's combined
yours.
length.
It's a penis and organ.
The 15 feet is combined length.
Combined length of both of them. So you tie them together.
15
Like you're trying to escape from a tall building.
15 feet. 3 Gareth Waws.
On his tiptoes.
Yeah, 4 Joe Rogans. Nah, not buying it.
It's the one to the moon and back is the DNA in your body. If you tied it end to end, would be 6.2 billion kilometers.
Wow.
Which would get you from Earth to the Sun 41 times.
Aye, mine will get further than yours.
No, I'm not. I'm not having any of that. They just, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but sometimes they just put stuff in school books to make it sound cool, and then I'm never going to.
I'm just going to draw boobs in it. What are you doing? I'm just going to write who I love in it. Right, it is forever. Man, the amount of times I scribed that, and like I cannot get out of that contract. I'm in love with so many people.
Forever.
Forever, I said. I said in the book.
Man of my word.
I made the E part of the 4.
Huh?
4 ever. Made the E and the 4 out. Like, hold on, how am I going to do this with my hands?
You did the E4 logo.
Nah, they did the fucking Kai Love Somebody logo. I think you'll find. How do you think E4's been on? This isn't the time of 4 channels only. I loved. Hold on, who did I love forever? Was it Jill?
Aye.
I loved Jill forever.
And was that IDSD as well?
I think it has been destroyed, but fucking right.
Well, the IDSD, if destroyed, it's still true, so it's still true. It doesn't matter if it's destroyed. Aye.
Yeah. There was a Kirsty back then,
who
I loved for a fleeting moment in time, but no, the contract states. The contract states that I love Kirsty forever.
Yeah.
As well as Jill.
Yeah.
It's gotta be fucking awkward when they find out. I hope they don't listen to this podcast like I'm in trouble.
I don't know if I ever fucking wrote.
Oh, you know about when I wrote somebody a Valentine's card? This was Catherine IDST, who I love forever as well. Catherine, there was a Catherine in there. She fucking Tipexed out me Valentine's card and give it to someone else. fucking not even shitting you, mate. Like, imagine being the guy that gets the tip Valentine's card.
It's not as bad as being you. Stop trying to
When you put it like that. Spin doctor over here.
It's
Like, I didn't feel special, but neither should he. Alright.
Like if you get coin and you scratch that out, you'll actually
Gotta
see
find out that I love him. Guy loves us. Said yeah, if destroyed still true.
I remember, God, fucking this podcast is just us talking about the fact that we're old now. Remember the days when you could only send fucking 80 symbols essentially in a text, right? And if you did more than that, it was the price of 2 texts.
120 symbols.
Was it 120? I made it, pulled the number out of my fucking arse. But that's why the old school.
Yeah, the text speak.
Text speak was short, but you changed mate to M8.
You've got 2 characters left.
Yeah,
to still use.
You've saved it. You send it fucking through. Yeah, I remember texting girls that I fancied on that method.
Oh, do you remember when you used to have so much storage on your phone for like a small amount of messages, like maybe 10 to 15 messages, and then you'd have the flashing message thing. I mean, there's a message pending, but there's not enough room in your inbox. Right. So you're like, do I delete that funny picture of a man holding his penis using just brackets? Or do I delete this message off a girl that is like vaguely suggests that she might be into it?
Oh, yeah. And then
you're just left with a picture of a man holding his penis with brackets, and you never know if you and that girl have still a chance.
And the text comes through and it's just fucking orange telling you that your dolphin package is expired. And you're like, you
O2 treats. Just blew it with a girl because of O2 treats. Do you know now you're older than I was when we started this podcast? By 2 years.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
which sad fan pointed that out?
I just thought of it.
Oh, you then?
I just damn it. I'm older than Molly and I was when she signed us.
Oh,
that's not true.
Oh man, that fucking Jesus! I was about to kill myself.
That's not true, but hey, it's closer to being true than it is. Like, I'm closer to her age now than I am to my age when I was signed.
I was talking to my PT today, and we were talking about now there's not just like one generation younger than me. There's like 2, borderline 3 generations that are younger than me, right? And how much they've fucking changed and they're different. And he was saying, normally the first 2 weeks into university starting, right, for the past fucking 2 decades that he's been there, first 2 weeks, the gym is fucking empty because people are doing Freshers Week, doing drugs, drinking, fingering each other, going fucking mad for it, out late nights. Whereas now, Gen Z, they're just all in the gym, they're all talking about mental health, which this isn't me ripping them yet. But like, they're not going out and drinking. Gen Z apparently do not drink and do not do drugs.
We've made it look that bad. We've made it look shite.
What? I'm not having that. You can't find. They
didn't see the fun we had. They just see the problems that it's caused. They just see the fact that it's aged rapidly and we've got addiction issues. They didn't see how class of time we had in Ibiza.
You don't get to rewrite history, right? And say that I'm a fucking loser because I was doing heaps of drugs in my 20s. That's not on. My only
can't change the goalposts when I'm winning.
I just feel so. And like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I've got respect for them because I think that's the better way to be. I wished I hadn't smoked as much weed in my early 20s.
Oh, but I had such a good time.
I know, we were so cool.
I had the best time.
But they don't think we're cool. I know that I want to be fucking cool to, because I think that's the sign of being a fucking loser.
Oh yeah. If you're trying to appeal to them.
If you're trying to be cool to
and we didn't understand that when we thought the older generation weren't cool. They did not give a flying fuck what we thought.
Yeah, 100%. Like with I'm not at the stage with it in fatherhood yet, but it's like the sort of things I've suddenly now realised all the time. So I was sort of saying to my parents, "You're not cool," and they're like, "Do you think I give a fucking shit what a 13-year-old thinks?"
I'm
like,
past that.
Like you're all fucking losers. You don't wear fucking belts. You said you play fucking computer games. You're little fucking loser.
You're cool. You're cool, all right. Stop holding me to your standards.
Aye.
I think as well.
They're even going to like a new drug. Like, don't get me wrong, the generation below me, they confused me, right? Because they were like, we're still doing drugs, but it's ket. And I'm like, oh boy, fucking thank God I missed that generation.
What does a ket deal look like? I don't know what a ket deal looks like. What does a ket dealer look like? What quantities do you buy in?
You got to buy. Yeah, it's got to be grams. I don't think they fucking mix it up.
Do they go like with Ket? Do they go 50 quid a bag, or you can have the rocket fuel for 80? do they run that scam with Ket?
Well, I guess if it's fucking rocket fuel for Ket, you just get deeper into the. I've never done Ket.
Nah, I have done Ket. I thought I was doing coke. It was brutal. I was on my way to 5-side.
Right, whoever's selling Ket, go and do us a favour. Go and make it pink or something. Go and change the colour of it. Like, it's real. It's not. I think that's something that they've done real bad there. You can't just fucking make all the powders the same colour, right? Coke should be red, right? Just so you don't know when your nose is bleeding. So you can just keep going. You know,
the Coke's just falling in my nose, just not a line of blood.
Ket should be blue because it's for depressed people, right? Meow Meow should be green because you got to be like, man, you got to know what you're fucking doing there. You can't be snorting that.
I had like a short pocket of time that was Meow Meow face.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh, I remember when we were at that house party and the kid come up with us and went, Kai, why are you chewing? Because I'm off my tits on, was it Meow Meow, what do we call it?
MCAT.
MCAT. I'm off my tits on MCAT to a kid.
Plant food.
Kai, why are you chewing? I'm off my tits on MCAT to a child.
I think that was the same party. It was before you were 30, and I still can't believe I fucking did this. I think I was 19 or 20-year-old at the time.
It was a fireworks night party, so we were there for the fireworks.
I put 100 quid bet on with your dad that you would die before 30.
Hi, I was 29. No, maybe been 27 around about then. Because I remember that day because we fucking had on. Round about 2011, round about then, we had a drive from Newcastle to a place called Farnham. That was 7 hours, and that was one of the only times in our driving days that you bailed on us and slept the entire way.
Aye, yeah. Oh yeah, because
that was with a fucking MCAT come down driving to Farnham.
Aye, we did have a good system of like, I'm not just gonna fucking leave you to like drive. Like if we're driving through the night together, the other person's awake, so we can sort of swap over. Or if the other person, normally me, had a couple of drinks, your moral obligation is to stay awake so you're not listening to fucking late night radio by yourself.
And we had a handful of albums that we had on repeat. One was Charlie Simpson, who, hoodwinked by the way, had no idea I was the lead singer of Busted until I was thoroughly enjoying him. The largely unknown Ed Sheeran, who had played the Blue Tent at a comedy festival we'd been at, and then got into him, and then he blew up pretty rapid after that.
Where's he now though?
Aye.
Find out on his tour. Don't.
And then I poke fun at him like it's cool to fucking slag him off, even though I listened to him in his early days.
Aye. And also, he seems like a dead cool celebrity. So does Charlie Simpson, by the way.
Like
Charlie Simpson, I've not seen much of his stuff, but like some of his like social media stuff gets out there. He's not up there with James Blunt, but he's sort of.
The only fun I poke at Ed Sheeran, in fairness, is that when he appeared on a fucking Eminem album that wasn't on.
Aye.
That was like Get Out.
Aye.
Get like
raisins in a potato salad.
I like like when, you know, that time when Molly and I offered with some Skittles, but there was M&Ms in it as well, and you get a handful of like, yes, they look the same, but they're not the same.
Yeah,
sweets, like abhorrent. You can't eat them things together.
Yeah.
Man, when Ed Sheeran, like, it was like, I like Charlie Simpson. I don't want to see him in Method Man.
Nah.
That's not something I want to see. I don't want ketchup on my custard, mate. Like, what are you doing?
Do you think it's because like Eminem's daughter was an Ed Sheeran fan, and then he was just at the point being like, well, I can do a fucking song with Ed Sheeran then?
Or just like there was probably money in that fucking in that cross pollination. There was like it made sense. Like he fucking does a bit of rapping and singing. Eminem steps into pop. Like it fucking made sense, but just didn't work for me. Like I was fucking saddened by that. So I make fun of that in my set. Like the closest I've come to finding a tumor on my body is finding Ed Sheeran and an Eminem album. But it ain't nothing against him.
No, he seems like a lovely one. He seems like a good.
But yeah, like
he was at no P Diddy parties. There you go.
Nah, he didn't fly to Epstein Island.
Nah.
So what's the latest on P Diddy?
He's a wrong'un.
What's it like? Is he a pedo?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think. Like, and then would like he would Epstein it a bit. Like he would have these fucking massive parties, and then like
trafficking women that didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and then like
his guests.
and then like doing the Epstein thing of like filming it and then holding it over other people.
So what's the Diddy tapes that are going to crush everybody? Is there like tapes of this? Like, because somebody
Hope so.
pointed out that Usher's deleted his fucking Twitter or something.
Aye.
I think Usher might be on the way out. Like, I'm not sure. There's going to be like rappers from the fucking 90s are going to be fucked, because I bet you the standards they fucking held for themselves like do not pass today's standards at all. They were obviously fucking. Like, I loved rap music growing up.
I think
but then when I look back and going, they were all cunts. Like, there's not... Like, I was gutted when Nate Dogg died, because he was the fucking chorus of my teenage years, right?
Snoop's brother.
Actually not. No. The second name's not really Dog. Oh, mate. Pseudonyms.
Oh.
Obi Trey should have did that. He made it all right. Nate Dogg, he would never have gotten past first wave of Me Too.
No.
Not a fucking chance. Nah. I don't know the man, but
from his songs.
big gangster rapper who does songs about women.
Aye.
Who
Who's fucking, why's his name going out of my head?
Like, we're that romantic.
Who's that one?
DMX.
Yeah, thank God he's dead, eh?
He was a naughty cunt, him, like,
yeah.
but fucking, you know what? He gets a pass with me. Like.
No, I don't think that's
I'm separating the man from the art with DMX. Like,
you're separating the monster from the art, I think.
I'm separating. But I reckon. Do you ever listen to Ra the Rugged Man?
Occasionally.
I love his songs about how much of a fucking dickhead he was when he was younger.
Aye.
He's got some really good tracks on the All My Heroes Are Dead album, where he talks about how much of a fucking wanker he was when he was younger. Yeah. He's just super cool.
So it's like, P. Diddy's been arrested, right?
He's on suicide watch.
He's on suicide watch.
Yeah.
Fucking so was Epstein.
He's going to bring fucking every cunt in with him.
I don't think he's going to fucking... There's a certain type of fucking God complex that surely you're not gonna kill
narcissists
yourself.
don't kill themselves, do they?
Nah, no, not yet.
Nah?
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it yet?
No.
Do you think it did if like you were going to become infamous though? Like, do you think like a narcissist would leave like a fucking carnage in their wake? Because then they go, right, like this is my fucking coup de grace.
Oh, like if you're about to ruin my reputation, you can't fire me. I quit it. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be I'll be the first person to do a mass suicide.
Aye.
Well, not the first person. I guess fucking 9/11 was that. I don't know what came across me. I did the one thing I
Being a
swore.
narcissist, claiming to invent mass suicides before I do them.
Yeah. I did it first.
9/11 was the first one.
Your first one. Yeah.
I don't think that was suicide, but I suppose they jumped a few of them.
No, the person playing the plane, that was.
But the mass was the people who were murdered.
Yeah.
Apart from those that jumped.
Yeah.
You can't kill me.
Yeah, you can't kill me. I quit. I mean, I get that. That was when we were at the 9/11 museum.
Would you have jumped?
Yeah.
Or would you went down with a building?
Oh,
would you have tried to live to the end?
100% would have fucking jumped.
Maybe you'll get a little free fall.
Also, great time to just fucking finally check if you can fly.
Oh, imagine that's how you fund it.
Great day. But how guilty would you feel if you jump? Turns out you can fly. Everyone else sees you and been like, oh, fuck. And then lemons.
Aye.
And that's on you. I'd probably fly into the other building at that point.
Just fly into the other one.
Aye.
They're like, what are these fucking chances? Fucking come on.
When we were at the 9/11 museum, which is, harrowing in like a really good and important way. It's just like a good thing to see. I remember one of the really hard bits. It was all like, because there's all the distractions. There's all like the calls of people phoning their loved ones to the plane. There's all it's fucking brutal. But one of the ones which was really harrowing to just watch was like, there was a woman who was about to jump, and like before she jumped, like she smoothed down her dress.
Oh,
Which is just like such
dignified.
Such
a dignified way to just go, well,
yeah,
might as well look good for this.
Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, at no point was I watching 9/11 being like, well, that's not people, who gives a fucking shit? But like, that's just such a like, oh my
human
God.
moment.
Aye. A human moment before such an unhuman act. Not to say killing yourself's an unhuman act, obviously, fucking, but that wasn't depression-based suicide.
Aye. Have you read Terry Hayes' I Am Pilgrim?
No.
There's a bit in that where somebody's running late for work. I mean, book spoilers alert, end the podcast now because we're wrapping up anyway. If you're busy reading I Am Pilgrim, there's a bit where they're walking to work and the towers get hit and it fucking dawns on them they're a ghost.
No.
They're like, presumed dead. I'm off the grid and like become like, well, read the rest of the book. No. But there's a bit where they just fucking notice that like the guy, right, I can just fucking re-identify completely now. Nobody knows I exist.
Oh. Who, Steve something from that television show, fantasy football show in America, sitcom, that called The League, Steve Ranazizi or something?
I don't know any of this.
He, comedian, and like for fucking years, claimed and like dined off the fact that like he was in 9/11 and like survived it, and then like several years later people went, no you ain't. And he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I made it up.
Wow.
Stephen Ranazizi.
Stephen Ranazizi claimed to be in 9/11 and wasn't. How did they find him out? What was the giveaway?
I think like after all the
He's bragging about doing something that happened on that day elsewhere. You can't be everywhere, mate.
I think people just fucking worked out that he wasn't, like it was attaching yourself to a tragedy, being able to fucking tell that story, and then having fucking nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, before we go, there was I shared it in the group the other day. I can't remember any of these comedians' names. There's a comedian out there who's gone like super viral on TikTok, going up to like 1.1 million followers.
You can't remember Milo McCabe's name. He's your friend.
No.
Wait a minute. Is this the first time you found out that Troy Hawk is Milo?
What?
yeah. Man,
the guy
same
from
guy.
the Daz adverts.
Literally just put a mustache on with a bit of. That's not his mustache.
I've badmouthed Milo to Troy so many times.
Not the other way around.
No, never. I like Troy. Troy's funny.
I would say to Will goes, shoulders back, I can't make me mates grinding us down. Because he did.
He's just every fucking day he talks about his vision board. I just can't.
You can't be that positive and nice, man. No offense.
Anyway, I'm meeting him around here, so just...
That's when he's finished work.
Comedian out there with like 1.1 million on TikTok, like a bunch of his clips have gone viral, and then some other comedian was just like, just to let you all know, I've done a bunch of research, and because like, you know when you're watching a comedian perform at a club with a set, in the UK I can tell what club they're performing in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either the wall of hot water,
you can see Monkey Barrel, you can see even the Blackfriars have got their unique
the Glaze, you can see, and even in like places where the comedy club doesn't have their brand on the wall, you can sort of tell by the room what venue it is. One comedian was like, I don't recognise any of these fucking rooms, and I'm in the same territory as this guy in America, and they worked out that it is like fucking 2-bedroom apartment had just set up 3 fake stages and was filming stand-up in his fucking room and editing in the laughter.
Oh no!
And everything, yeah.
And it went passable, and the audience bought it.
Yeah, man,
enjoyed it.
I can fucking show you the clips. I will fucking.
Man, I can't believe they're stealing Mark Nelson's lockdown lockdown. That was fucking incredible over lockdown, doing stand up to an empty room to live stream. The balls on the man, and then we could pre-record and send them in to perform on it, but at least then you got like another take, so you could go and I butchered that. I'm going to do it again. Are you finding?
I'm finding. I'll show you the clips and see if you can.
You know why dogs are better than cats?
Oh,
because a
cats and
cat will
dogs.
try to bite your hand off if you accidentally touch it in the exact wrong spot. But you could smack a dog in the nose and they're like, do you want to play Frisbee?
The pause for laughter.
Now, how do we feel about that?
He's doing manual AI. he's doing analog.
Yeah.
He's doing artificial intelligence with actual intelligence.
By the way, the name
Acoustic.
is... I mean, none of this is a fucking secret. That I found out from an article. The guy's name is Pete Guercio, P-E-T-G-U-E-R-C-I-O. The guy that fucking outed him is called Anthony Zuccaro. I've not seen any of his stuff. This is just... Well, because here's the thing. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, gross. That's not on. That's absolutely especially outside of COVID. That's just objectively fucking cheating. But apparently, like, he's got 1.1 million fucking followers on TikTok, and he'll be going into.
Do they not mind?
People couldn't give a fucking shit, mate.
I'm trying to think, because you know, like, say the format that Elliot does, where he's walking through the park. That's like a written stand-up stuff. He's not trying to perform with his stand-up. but like he's doing his rant at the camera. You're my audience. I'm doing it to you. He's doing that with a performative lens,
Yeah.
but it's the deception of it that's icky.
Yeah, it's well, it's also like it's
That
just,
could have been such a funny clip if it just had a 3-second cut to him perform to an empty room.
yeah.
If it showed the workings in Penn and Teller it and didn't claim it to be magic, but just went, this is the trick, this is how you do the trick. That would have been so much more impressive a clip. If he went, oh, fucking hell, I thought he was in a...
Yeah, but like imagine he goes to fucking like sold out rooms of like 1,500 fucking people. It's like, man, you don't know how to do this. Like you
All
lied.
of his clips like that. He's not just going, right, how am I going to get more clips out? I've created demand. I'm not getting enough stage time to put these clips out. I could just perform them here and doctor them, and then I can keep churning them out. Or is he just denying himself the stage time because it's hard and he doesn't want to learn?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Message him.
Some of the stuff is like real, like there's audience heads.
Okay, so
Although
he has done
could
stand up.
You could edit that.
Yeah.
So that could also be in his. That could also be in his room.
No, I feel like that's real. But most of them look like they're in front of like very easily to.
I mean,
Would you shake his hand in the green room?
what if he's fucking who's? What am I doing? Who's burgling it? We sell a cuppa. Oh, I thought you would. Heard laughter. Right. Let's wrap this up because you've got to move house.
Yeah.
And I've got to get back to my dog, and also we've done an hour. Thank you for listening to the podcast. See you next time.